What's up, Amazon sellers? If you don't know, right now I am in Mexico, Cancun. I know, hashtag living the dream. And I have recently settled in this new country, and I've been doing this for many countries over the last couple of years. And today I want to share with you top tips about getting settled whilst traveling and keeping your business going whilst doing the remote work lifestyle. Stay tuned. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and quite simply, I sell on Amazon doing online arbitrage, pretty much just doing online, and I've got a team in the Philippines that do it for me, and I've been doing that now for about 4 years, but also as well, I've been traveling the world. I first started off in Thailand, that was a while ago. I spent 6 months out there. I've lived in Vietnam for about 2 years. I've traveled all around Asia. I've done a bit of Europe as well, and right now I'm coming over to the Americas, and right now I'm in Mexico, Cancun, and I like to move, I like to travel, I like to explore, and I feel very blessed to be able to do this whilst working a remote lifestyle and owning 2 businesses and running them both remotely with a team of 30 VAs out in the Philippines. I like to think I've got a bit of experience of not just the traveling, but also as well managing a business at the same time. So let's go through today's content, and then obviously I will jump into it as well. First things first, I just want to talk about where I am now and why I'm here. If you're following my YouTube channel, it'll give you a bit of a background. Number 2, I just want to share about how to settle in a new country quickly and the kind of thought process that I go through and how I do that. Number 3, you already know some of the countries that I've been to, but I want to share some top tips about each of those countries. Maybe you're looking at them, it's going to help you out. And then finally, number 4, some top tips about keeping your business on track. And not only that, how you can grow it in regards to moving around, traveling. It's just going to help you continue that lifestyle that you want and grow your business. So let's get into it now. Okay, so first things first, if you don't know, right now I am in Mexico, Cancun, and you might kind of ask, like, why am I here? Well, obviously you probably know already, it's a beautiful country, and my God, the beaches in Cancun are incredible. Also as well, the weather here is lovely. You know, the temperature right now, it's probably on the cold side. It's about 21 to 23. It's been overcast, we've had a bit of rain, not too much. Now this weekend it's going to pick up, it's going to get warmer, it'll probably hit towards the 30s, and it's just nice. I just love that. I personally really feel it in me when it is a warm climate. I want to eat healthy, I want to get outside, I want to do things, I want to get out of bed. When it's cold, I want to do the opposite of what I've just said. And to have a healthy lifestyle and a productive business and go places, I like the warmth, so hence why I'm here. Now, it's not only about the warmth and the sunshine, I do really enjoy that. Also as well, I've not been here before, I like to explore it, but obviously it's a really big thing right now, COVID. COVID's obviously impacted the entire world and a lot of people, a number of people. But quite simply, Mexico has no restrictions on testing, where you can come from. A lot of countries right now are rejecting people from the UK or ever been in Europe over the last 14 days. So you can come here, you don't need to be tested prior. I'm not saying that I think that you don't need to be tested. Obviously don't fly if you think you've got COVID, but all fine from my side. But also as well is the fact that from here I can explore the rest of the Americas, and potentially I might be looking at going to the US, and from here it's a very easy stop, but that's going to be later on in the year. The other thing which I will add with Mexico as well is they have really great visas. They have pretty much on arrival, you don't need to pay anything, it's a visa on arrival, and it's 180 days, 6 months that you can get, and you can literally go out and do a border run and come back. Now you can pretty much do that twice as far as I'm aware, but you shouldn't do it any more than that. The government are cracking down, but I can spend 6 months here initially, no problem, and then maybe another 6 months on top of that, and hey, 1 year in this beautiful country, come and explore it and see it, I'll be really happy. So quite simply, why, or in Mexico, what am I looking to do? Well, initially I'm in Cancun now, I'll probably like to do a couple of months here, then maybe move down the road to go to Playa del Carmen, maybe have a look at Tulum, and then I'd probably like to go over to Mexico City and spend some time there. I quite like cities and big cities as well. I like being in the hustle and bustle, so I'll probably go there and have a look. But I'm sure there'll be other places that take my fancy that I can do road trips, maybe weekend getaways, or even maybe go live in around Mexico. It is a big country, lots and lots to see. Okay, what I will say as well is stay to the end of this video because I'm going to share some top tips and tricks about all the different countries that I've been in, that I've lived in, that maybe if you're looking to go to, just going to help you out in those countries, just to maybe get settled quicker and get going. Okay, so you're thinking about moving to a new country, or maybe you are in a new country and you want to understand how can I settle quickly, get myself set up and enjoying the benefits of the country as quick as possible. Well, generally there are 6 steps or 6 things I consider that I'll go through now and just kind of talk you through. Okay, first things first, number 1, I would always think about just be open-minded. Having traveled Asia and obviously Europe, being from the UK, but then also coming over to the Americas, one thing I understand is that the cultures change across all the different countries. What is acceptable in, say, Germany, i.e. you turn up before the time you're supposed to meet. In the UK, you turn up on time. In Vietnam, the time that you arrange to meet isn't the time you meet, that's the time you pretty much leave your house. Now, it does depend on who you're meeting, and also you confirm it before. They have something in Vietnam called rubber time. It's like, we'll turn up around 10. I have seen that many, many times. Now, quite simply, be open-minded, relax, go with the flow, learn the flow, the rhyme, the rhythm of the culture of the country that you're in, and that's just going to get you to understand the way of the lifestyle of that country that you're in. Now, from my side, I always think something which I heard in a film called Layer Cake, chill Winston. Quite simply, don't get caught up with anything. Just take your time. Like, this is a new culture, new experience. Breathe, take it in, and just this is part of life. It's part of moving around, and it's part of the pleasures of being able to see wonderful new countries and cultures. Okay, so the second one I'll think about and I'll share to you is don't be a tourist. You're not on holiday here. You are living here, you are part of the country, you're part of the culture, and you get a privilege. You get to experience what life is like in these countries. Now, you can spend all your time in the tourist areas, but I'd really recommend get out, go see the things, speak to the locals, get to know them, and don't act like a tourist. Try and do some things that are going to allow you to blend in, fit in with the locals, because you're going to get such a richer experience. Now, for me, when I travel, I purposely try and seek out local people who are living here. Maybe it might be Westerners who have been here for a long time, or it might be involving yourself into local events that are happening just to get a feel for it. Now, quite simply, for you, what I'd really recommend, and for me, learn some basic phrases. Okay. Okay. Gracias. Gracias.
If you want to know, my Spanish is awful. Yes.
You know, hello, thank you, how much, numbers 1 to 10. I also when you're getting in taxis, straight ahead, turn left, turn right, really good. I also say learn, sorry, I don't speak whatever language it is, so like Spanish, for example, where I am now, just to make them aware when I first start off, they might think I speak Spanish, but I don't. And also as well, I would probably ask them, do you speak English? But in their local language. Now, those things have really helped me out, and actually I've had such an enjoyable experience. For example, when I was in Vietnam, I managed to learn numbers 1 to 10 in the taxi from the airport to Hanoi itself in that hour-long taxi journey. And that was quite an eye-opening experience, considering the taxi driver didn't speak English at all. So I managed to get him to teach me them, which was quite funny. Learning simple phrases such as these, which are going to help you have a much richer experience and seeing what the culture is like of the countries you're visiting, rather than having the tourist experience. So learn those phrases. It's really going to help you out and make the most of your time in all these countries. Now, the third one, which I'd really recommend, is make an effort to make new friends. Now, quite simply, what does this mean? Well, as we get older, we have a tendency to just stay within our own circles. But for you as a traveler, you are breaking those circles. They don't exist, and you're going to have to reform them all the time. So for me, what do? I try and make friends with the people I see all the time. So it might be like the local cleaners. It might be the person who works on the door. It might be someone who works in reception at the office that I'm working at. it might be at the shopping mall, just to have interaction that I know. But more than that, it's about meeting people. So I will try and connect with other digital nomads who are here so I can engage with them. And that's great because they are someone who you can talk to in your time of need if something were to go wrong. But also as well, I'll try and engage in events that I can do that are going to allow me to meet people who are probably local, who are going to give me a really rich experience. For example, I am really, really bad, but I am learning salsa dancing. And as a result, I get to go spend a lot of time with the same people twice a week, dancing with them, learning that skill, but also as well interacting with them and making new friends. For example, yesterday I went and met someone who in my salsa class who speaks perfect English. He is a Mexican and he works in a hotel. So great person to meet there. We can go for some drinks. Maybe he can show me some more local cultural experiences and just going to help me out in a new country. So a couple of top tips that you might take away for making new friends. I'm always a big believer in smiling, being polite, also the simple things, holding the door, just saying hello to people, how was your day? The people you meet regularly make such a big difference. You can slowly introduce yourself and then, hey, also as well, make the effort. Do you fancy grabbing a coffee? Can we go for a drink sometime? These kind of things just help you build that network of people. And hey, the locals love to go and have a coffee with someone who's traveling, learn about new experiences. So get out there, talk to them. It's going to make such a difference to your experience, but also the people living here as well. Now, the fourth thing I'd say is plan ahead. Really think about where you're going beforehand. Now, there's a couple of things that I'd really recommend you should do before you leave. Number one, think about money. For me, I have a Revolut card. I really like it. I'm a UK national, we can get them. It works really well. But also I have a backup TransferWise personal card in case I lose my Revolut. They do deliver globally, but you know what, it might just take a couple of days. I can still get the cash from my TransferWise card. And I'm not paying extensive exchange fees. It's so much easier. Top tip for you is book an Airbnb for 2 days or a hotel for 2 days before you start booking in for the long term. Why? You just want to get a feel for the area. Is it right? Is it safe? Do you feel comfortable? Is everything you want there? So the 2 days are going to really help you out, and then you can book some longer time after that. Or if it's not right, you can move, not knowing you've got 1 month in a place that is actually where you really don't want to be. Now for me, I also as well think about just having a really staple diet of easy to consume and easy to purchase food in different countries. Pretty much for me, whenever I go anywhere, I have a really easy to do diet that I have, which is going to be eggs, oats, milk. I'll pretty much have ham and cheese sandwiches to start off with, and then my dinners will be quite easy, chicken and rice. Why? Because it's really easy to buy, and you can buy those goods anywhere pretty much in the world. They're always going to be sold. So it means I'm not worrying about finding the right food. I can literally do one food shop, get everything purchased, get it home, start eating, and just get on with my life. Later on, I can buy all maybe the nicer foods, but those things make my life so much easier. Now, the final two things which I'll just kind of highlight around getting settled are, number one, know if you can drink the tap water and obviously test it for yourself. Does it react with you? Some places like Gran Canaria, I was fine, but I know some people don't like the tap water there. And then number two, think about things such as gyms, co-working spaces, and where you're going to be sociable. For example, I like to be a bit in the hustle and bustle. I don't like to be too far away from, should we say, all the action. So I like to be able to go outside and just see lots of people. But for you, you might be different. But things like I want to make the gym super close so that I go to it regularly. And I don't want to have to travel very far to my co-working space because I know I won't go if it is a big effort. So just think about those when you're planning where you're going to live. Now, the fifth thing, which I really recommend, is build a routine into your life. My routine changes every time I change to a new country, but what does that mean? It basically means I will have time for my business and I'll have time for my personal life in regards to meeting people, but then also though I'll have time for myself, which is things like gym, going out exploring, but I will try and build that routine in quite quickly into my life in a new country. And I'll do that very simply just by using Google Calendar and allocating time to certain things, just to make sure I have a nice balance in my week so that I'm doing work, personal life, and exploring. Now, another top tip for doing that is, number one, it keeps you busy, it keeps you doing things so you're not getting lonely, but also as well, booking time to reconnect with friends, maybe family back at home. Just make sure you've got some quality time with them and you're keeping in touch. Because when you're doing lots of things in a new country, it can get lonely. But if you schedule time to do certain things, well, you get to feel exciting because you've got lots going on, and hey, it's a really enjoyable time. So allocating that time to certain parts of your business, life, personal and cultural experience is going to make such a difference. Now, the final one I'd probably recommend in getting settled in a new country, quite simply, is create a budget. And I would also recommend when you first move in, just keep your costs low. Don't go out and spend all the money straight away. Don't go out and spend big because you've got a budget for long term. Just get through the first week. Now, the reason why I say this is because unexpected costs happen. Right now, I'm in this beautiful apartment and it is lovely, but unfortunately we don't have the internet installed. And the one thing I didn't realize is that while I am using my phone to tether my internet, I'm actually using about 4 to 8 gigabytes of data a day. And you know what? The biggest data package you can get here in Mexico right now is 12 gigs. So pretty much every day and a half, I'm having to buy the biggest data package again, which is costing me about $20 US every single time. So just be mindful that unexpected costs do occur, have a budget, keep your costs down for the first week. And then obviously once you've got through that, you're going to start getting a feel for how much does it really live or really cost to live in that country. Okay, so quick question to you guys. I'm about to go through my top tips for some of the previous countries that I've been to, but I want to know, what are your top tips? Drop it in the comments down below. Let me know what things that you recommend doing when you travel to a new country. I'm really interested to learn, and maybe I can learn a thing or two from you. Okay, so the third thing I want to just share about this video, or in this video, is quite simply, I've been to quite a lot of countries, and there's a lot more that I can go to, but what tips can I share with you about those countries that I've been to? Let's do a quick fire round now of country, a couple of top tips that maybe might help you out, or things to think about when you're going into these countries. So starting off, let's talk about Vietnam. I spent most of my time there last year, and what would I recommend for Vietnam? In Vietnam, the price you see is not the price you pay. They expect you to haggle, they enjoy it, it's just part of the culture. Have fun, it's really enjoyable. It doesn't mean that you need to go too cheap, but obviously you can have a conversation, you can negotiate with them, very, very normal. Number two, when you're flying into the country, just be mindful that the time it takes to get that visa on arrival does take a while. So do be careful about that. If you are staying there for a period of time and you need to collect your visa, I've been waiting there maybe up to an hour and a half. For that, it does take quite a while on that arrival. They're not the fastest people in the world. Now, number three, having lived in Vietnam, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh, pretty much there isn't anywhere I wouldn't go. I found Hanoi to be probably one of the safest countries I've ever been in my life, and I felt very, very safe there. So explore, meet people, they're super friendly and they love Westerners. So do take the time to get to know the country. It is beautiful. Okay, so late last year, I spent 3 months on a beautiful island on the west coast of Africa called Gran Canaria, and I really loved it. So a couple of top tips for Gran Canaria. Number one, a number of the shops close on a Sunday, which can be quite bad when you run out of toilet paper. Number two, in Spain, everyone eats late. 10 p.m. for dinner is very, very normal. So just be aware, you can eat, a lot of people eat late and want to have dinner late if you want to meet up with locals. Now, number three, I was in the capital, or should we say the biggest city, Las Palmas, when I was in Gran Canaria. Not so much the tourist section. Again, I like to enjoy more the local culture. And the one thing which I'll say is, while I thought they'd speak English, a lot of the places they didn't. So just again, learning some of those languages, learning some of those words makes a really big difference to your experience. Just be mindful, not everyone speaks English. I know, I'm so lazy. So the next place I'll just give you some quick top tips for are Thailand. Now, quite simply, when I first started my journey, I went to Thailand, and I still remember it to this day. I was supposed to go for 4 weeks, and after 2 weeks in the country, I called my sister up and said, I'm not coming home. She said, great, when are you coming home? And I said, no, I'm not coming home, period. I loved it so much. And Thailand, if you're ever going to start somewhere, I cannot recommend it enough. Chiang Mai, I found beautiful, and I had such a great time there. Beautiful country. But 3 top tips for Thailand, what can I recommend? Again, like in most countries, if you're ever getting in a taxi, just confirm the price before you get in. They have a tendency sometimes to charge foreigners a higher price on arrival. So just make sure you confirm how much you're paying before you get in that taxi. Now, the one thing I learned about Chiang Mai, and this is probably very relevant for a lot of other countries, in Chiang Mai, they stop everything like nightclubs, bars at 12 o'clock. But if you know where to go, there is always a party happening. Speak to the locals, they will tell you. Honestly, it's a great city. I loved it, I had such fun. Now, that leads me on to the third and final one, is go local. Go spend some time in the local establishments or the local places and spend time with local people. The amount of Thai clubs I went to, And while I think the music is slightly questionable, I had such a great time, such a great experience, and I really enjoyed it, and I learned myself as well. So it was really nice to go experience new things, which I could experience because I'd taken the time to get to know some local Thai people, and we had such a great, enjoyable experience there. Now, last year as well, I also spent, I think it was only about 1 month in Lithuania, which is kind of like Western Europe, and I went and met Mr. Luke Dugan, Mr. FBA UK, and that was a really enjoyable time. Now, I'll share two things there. The reason is because I spent half of the time in isolation because of lockdown and I had to quarantine. So quite simply, if you go to Lithuania, get on the electric scooters. I love them. They were so much fun. And also as well, the warm days were warm, but as I just about to leave the country, the weather was changing and it got cold, very cold, very quickly. So just make sure you time it right. That temperature change happened quite dramatically. So, and that leads me finally nicely onto Mexico, where I am now, and I've only been here for a month, so I'll share a couple of top tips that I've learned about Mexico. I found Mexico to be quite safe. I've read a lot of like horror stories before coming here, like, oh my God, it's so dangerous. Actually, I've not seen any trouble, not seen anything, but I will say, obviously, just make sure you're not flashing the cash, showing lots of valuable equipment or valuable items. Just keep yourself to yourself and you'll have no problem at all. Now, the next thing I'll say is add an hour to everything that you're expecting to do. If someone wants to meet at 6 p.m, it's going to be 7 p.m. It takes time. Everything's on like a slow, we'll just see how it goes kind of time. The other day I went for a date with a girl, and while we agreed to meet at 5, it turned into 6, 6 turned into 6:30, and 6:30 eventually turned up 7:15. Let's just say I spent a long time on my phone. I didn't really mind. I had a lot of work to get done and I was happy to catch up on that. But normally I wouldn't be waiting that long. So it does take time. Now, the third and final thing I'll say about Mexico is in Cancun, what I've experienced is the internet can be awfully slow. Where I am right now, we can get some fast internet, but down the other side of the city, I was regularly getting less than 1 megabit per second, which had a massive impact when you're trying to upload YouTube videos and do Facebook Lives. It's just not possible. So even where the hotel said they had good internet, it wasn't good. It was only web page browsing. So just be mindful, the internet here can be bad. Ask for speed tests before you're moving into things like Airbnbs. Ask hotels how fast their internet is if you're going to go there. So that's about lifestyle, moving in, new cities, getting yourself settled. But the one question you might be asking is, how do I keep my business on track when I'm moving to all these new places? First things first, I would really recommend setting some goals, and not just business goals, but also personal goals as well. In my business, we are looking at doing £1 million by the end of this year, and that is a target we're trying to achieve, and that's giving me something to drive towards, get me into work and to do work every day because I'm working towards that goal. Also personally, I'm trying to learn how to dance salsa, admittedly failing very badly. Also as well, I'd like to learn how to speak Spanish as well. That's going to help me while I'm here. So 2 or 3 goals there that I'm trying to achieve in my business and also personally that's keeping me on track while I'm out in these new countries. Now, how do I make sure that I achieve those goals and keep things going? Well, quite simply, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Use Google Calendar, book out your time, schedule your time towards what you want to achieve. Every single day, my life is quite simply wake up. What does my calendar tell me to do? Do that. By the end of the day, I'm like, wow, I've done so much. I'm so happy and I've just got it done. Now, what I always say is whenever you schedule stuff, keep to it, and if maybe you overrun, things happen, update your calendar. Just by doing that action, you're seeing how long things really take, and then when you plan again in the future, you can look back and say, actually, I couldn't get that done, it was too much. Maybe the transport links were bad, maybe it got delayed, maybe the internet problems, and you're going to learn from those mistakes, and going forward, you'll plan your time much more efficiently, effectively, and it will be aligned with what's actually going to happen in reality. Now, the third and final thing I will say about keeping your business on track is probably one of the fundamental reasons why I travel outside of new experiences is that every single time I change countries, every single time I change maybe places within the country, is that I have an opportunity I have to build new habits. So I have to rebuild a routine, a way of working in my life. And what does that allow me to do? It allows me to break old habits. Maybe my diet isn't as good as it should be. Maybe my exercise isn't as good as it should be. Maybe my business isn't going in the right direction. Just the act of changing, the act of having to reform new habits because I've changed my environment has a profound impact upon how I structure my day, structure my business, structure my teams, that actually every single change I've made by moving country has had a massive impact upon how I approach my business and changed my habits to become more effective, more efficient, and to hopefully become more successful. Use the change to build new habits or can maintain new habits and stop bad habits. Good example, 5 a.m. starts. A long time ago, could never do them. Now, I'm actually all right. I wake up at 4 o'clock sometimes quite naturally. Okay, that is pretty much it from me today. I want to go out and enjoy the likes of Mexico, Cancun, not sit here and film YouTube videos. But what I will say is hopefully you've enjoyed that. Give me a thumbs up and hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only do I talk about Amazon, I'm also talking about my lifestyle, where I'm at, and sharing some top tips with you. But what I will do is I'll leave you a video around here of how to be successful in Amazon in 2021. Watch that if you want to think about getting started in Amazon. That's going to really help you out. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, out here, Mexico, Cancun, thank you very much.